Emily, I'm going to be taking your husband from you now. I get that this is all happening on the day of your wedding, but he's going to be with me now. We're going to run away with one another for our love's sake, since that's the only thing the both of us ever wanted. He said that he's left you with the divorce papers and all, so you fill them out and get them to the courthouse as soon as possible. And once you've done that, make sure to let me know so that the two of us can get married and be a happy couple for the rest of our lives. I haven't been lying about all of this, though. And also, I've already shown both my mom and dad the evidence I had of your mom harassing me.
Huh? Evidence?
That's right. I have evidence on all of it. Evidence that makes it very clear to anyone with a brain cell that she'd been harassing me there.
Since when were you able to get evidence like that?
I started to get it the moment you and I got married and I moved into your parents' house with you, dumbass.
Huh? Why would you intentionally be getting evidence like that while married to me?
So you don't even have any memory of what started all of this? The only reason I had to move into your parents' house to live with you all in the first place was because you and your mother decided on it without asking your father or myself. And when I was away for a bit on a business trip, you both called the apartment complex I'd been living at and had them cancel the lease I had. You both even went and took all of my things without asking me and moved them all to your parents' place before I came back. When I got back and had seen the damage that was done, it wasn't impossible for someone like me to tell where our marriage was already heading.
Wait, but I'm saying the only reason you would think to get evidence of my mom like that is if you thought she was picking on you.
Yeah, I get that you both loved to call it my training as your wife, but your mother getting in the way of my work, your mother throwing away all of my cooking, your mother drenching all of the laundry in water again right after I dried it, and your mother spilling out the contents of the vacuum onto the floor after I just finished cleaning? I'm sorry, but people who actually have brains can see that nothing about that is training me to be a wife.
But even still, you gathering evidence on my mom like that...
I had no other option, right? You and your mother made it impossible for me to want to be your wife and live in that house with you all, and that's why I made my choice.
Are you kidding me?
And have you looked at your older sister's experience? The one that happened 5 years ago? Originally, it was your sister and her husband that moved in with your parents to live with them, right? And because of the way your mother would pick on her husband, treating him like crap because he didn't make as much as your sister went and let loose on you all before she cut ties to the family, right? And now both your sister and her husband are long gone, and none of you know where they went. I heard about all of this from your father, by the way.
My dad told you about all of that crap?
So, with all of that in mind now, I would like you to talk with my lawyer about any of your concerns from now on.
Wait, hold on!
Over and over, screaming at the top of their lungs about how they didn't agree with the divorce and about how they both wanted me to become their ATM. And then, out from the side door came a man neither of them had ever seen before in their life. It turns out that those two had accidentally been banging on my neighbor's front door the whole time, and they must have made the mistake since both our front doors are right next to one another. I'm not sure what our neighbor did to the both of them because all I could hear was a lot of screaming and crying, but the very next day both George and his mother went and got the divorces they were asked for. Right now they both have moved away into the small shack that George started to rent close to his new office. And with his more than halved income, his mother can't stand such little money coming in and has started to take on a lot of credit card debt. Out in the middle of nowhere, in a small shack located inside of a trailer park, the two are constantly fighting with one another and getting into trouble with all their neighbors over it. It's only going to be a matter of time before all of their neighbors begin to form a mob, and those two get kicked out of the trailer park as well. I'm still living at home with the both of my parents, and am happy to say that things have worked out a whole lot better for me now, not having to deal with that pathetic mother and son anymore. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Oh, this is unbelievable! If I'd known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have hesitated any longer than I already have. I should have kept trying to reach out no matter what, even if it meant making things worse with my husband and all. Huh? Excuse me, but who is this? Oak, really now? Even if we've only met once, why are you asking who I am? I get that it's been years now since then, but I'm the one person you should be able to remember the most. No, I truly don't remember. At the very least, I don't think we've exchanged phone numbers or anything, have we? Because you're not showing up in my contacts anywhere, and there is no texter ID. Where'd you even get my number from? It was on my son's phone, your husband's phone, that is, and I made sure to get it off there so I could finally get in touch with you again. Huh? Wait, are you trying to say that you're my mother-in-law? That doesn't make any sense. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. Well, I don't think that's true. My mother-in-law's phone number has been saved in my contacts for a while now. And to be honest with you, she never once texted me before and said it herself that she's more of a caller than a texter. Oh, really? Well, in that case, you shouldn't have played dumb and asked who I am if you already know me. Wait, what? I mean, you clearly know who I am since you already have my contact information in your phone, right? No, that's not at all what I just said about you, though. The person saved under mother-in-law in my phone, they aren't you. And my mother-in-law wouldn't even be texting me right now, even if she did do that. What? Are you trying to tell me that I'm not your mother-in-law at all or something? Yes, actually. You're not my mother-in-law, and I'm not really sure who you could be. So how about you go and check your son's phone one more time and make sure you didn't type that number into your phone wrong? What kind of nonsense are you spouting? You're just trying to escape the blame for your crime, aren't you? Well, I'm not letting that happen, and I will make sure that you are held responsible for it. Huh? What crime? My son found out about your affair and left the house to go and try to investigate, and then he got hit by a car. All he wanted to do was get the evidence, but before he could move out of the way, he was knocked out completely. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I've never even heard about any of that going on. You're the one who ran him over, didn't you? You wanted to silence him, didn't you? All because you are too egotistical and can't stand having other people know about your faults. But I won't let you get away with this. I will never forgive you for this, ever. Let me ask you this one more time. Who exactly are you? Because honest to God, I have no clue who you are or what you want with me. I told you already that I'm your husband's mother, your mother-in-law, and what I want from you is to confess your crimes and then make up for them so that my son doesn't have to go through this pain anymore. Okay, you need to listen very carefully to me. I am currently traveling with my actual mother-in-law right now. She's right beside me in our hotel room, and we are getting ready to leave and go outside. So, again, who are you? What? What do you mean you're with your mother-in-law traveling right now? My mother-in-law has chronic back pain, so we're staying at a spa resort for an extended trip to help her recover for a little while before her next fit of pain. What? I'm your mother-in-law, though. What's all this nonsense about me being at a spa resort with you and having chronic back pain? Stop making up some ridiculous old lady scenario about me. I'm just getting into my 60s. It's not made up, though. Also, if your son has been in an accident, shouldn't you focus on that instead of accusing me? If there's any foul play involved, the police will investigate, and if I were really involved, that would come to light during the investigation. I think it's best if you stop making strange accusations about people you've never met before and stop getting confused about everyone around you. Oh, I see what you're doing. Trying to run away, are you? There's no reason for me to run because I haven't done anything. Now, just to be clear with you one last time, you are not my mother-in-law. That much is certain. So please, please go and take one more look in your son's phone and make sure you don't have the wrong contact or phone number. You're still insisting on that? I might call the police on you right now if you're going to continue behaving like that. Goodbye. Oak, lend me some money, all right? Huh? Is this you, Candace? It's been years since you've reached out, and now you're asking for money? What about that wonderful high-earning husband of yours? You know, the one that you constantly were asking me about for some reason? Saying that you're the one who deserved a man like that? You went and seduced Mark, my former boyfriend, using your pregnancy as leverage to force a marriage, which at the time was completely insane of you, but now that I think back on all that happening there, it was totally wrong.
Ah, that wasn't exactly how it happened, but you seem to remember a lot about me, actually. Besides, at that point, you hadn't even given your answer to the marriage proposal yet, so technically it was fair game. Fair, because if you weren't going to be getting married to him in the future, that meant to me that he needed a new woman, and one who could actually love him.
Sure, I guess you could argue it was technically fair, but do you remember how you embarrassed Aunt May, who had been the one to introduce Mark to me? She spent so much time going out looking for someone perfect, all just to have the man she had finally been able to find ripped away from her and I by you. Or how disappointed Dad and Mom were with you after that whole mess. How they both told you to get out of the house and never come back to them because they couldn't even look at your face. And if I recall correctly, you didn't end up being pregnant after all, did you? You just lied about that in order to get Mark to believe that he had to become your husband then, making it all a lot easier on you.
Ugh, that is ancient history. Besides, you went on to marry someone else from some other dating app, so what's the big deal? Anyway, what I have going on with myself right now is more urgent. The money.
I have no intention of lending you money, but what happened? If you let me know why you need money so badly right now, I may be able to help you in other ways.
Well, you see, I accidentally ran over Mark with my car.
You what?
I put the car in the wrong gear and it shot forward instead of backward, and that led me to pretty much end up hitting him by mistake. Luckily, I didn't kill him at the time, but he didn't get up when I called out to him.
You are kidding, right?
He's going to be okay, no life-threatening injuries, but it's going to take him about 3 months to recover. But I couldn't just sit around waiting for the ambulance to come and get him, so I actually reversed out of there and took off to lay low for a bit.
So, let me get this straight. You want me to cover Mark's hospital bills that you ended up causing him and the car repairs? All because you're too afraid to take responsibility for your own actions?
Well, yes, that's part of it, but it's also because my affair was exposed at the worst possible time.
Excuse me?
My boyfriend, Mark, caught me in the act of having sex with him, and we were actually doing it together in the car. When I saw him watching the two of us in the car, I panicked and tried to drive away, but I accidentally hit him because I switched the gears the wrong way. And like I was saying, when I had to look out my window and yelled for Mark to get up, he didn't. There was a bunch of blood that also started to come out of him, and I just freaked out and told my boyfriend to call the ambulance, and then we took off.
What on earth were you thinking?
I know. So now, on top of everything, Mark is suing me for damages to him and for having that affair with another man. I already tried to fight the case, saying it was all an accident and that he doesn't have any evidence of me having that affair. But the judge and all of the jury wouldn't listen to me.
So you're looking at a payout of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
You must realize there's no way I have that kind of money, right? I don't have anything saved up, and Mark was my source of income, really.
Didn't you quit your job to become a full-time housewife because you thought marrying high-earning Mark would make you set for life or something?
Yes, I did. And so what? Is that a crime?
Whether it's a crime or not, you're definitely reaping the consequences of your own actions now, don't you think? I don't even get why you would have that affair in the first place when you had gone through all the trouble of stealing him from me years ago.
I suppose I was just fed up with some things in our relationship that made me start looking for someone else to please me.
I see. By the way, sorry to change the subject, but there's something I want to ask you.
What now?
What's your mother-in-law's name?
Huh? My mother-in-law's name?
You remember, don't you? When Mark and I got engaged to one another, barely a month passed before his parents got into a huge mess and ended up divorcing. I never really had a chance to ask for his mom's full name because of all that chaos and because she was kicked out of the house and moved away before I could talk to her again. But since you married Mark, I figure you would at least know your mother-in-law's name, right?
I haven't really spoken to her much, but I think her name is Janice?
Thanks, Candace. That's all I needed to know. Goodbye now.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you going to help me out with my money situation or not?
Oak, I am officially demanding $50,000 from you as compensation.
What? Is this you again?
Yes. I've decided to take matters into my own hands and avenge my son's suffering. He deserves justice, and I'm going to get it for him. So make sure you have that money to me by next week, or I will be calling the police on you.
Suffering? Fine, whatever. Actually, it's good you started to text me. I was about to reach out to you anyway so that we could settle all of this.
Wait, what?
Can you meet me this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the parking lot in front of the west side of Central Park in City A? Let's settle this whole dispute there with one another in person.
Oh, that's sudden. But you're being strangely cooperative, aren't you?
I figured it would be more convenient for you this way, right? After all, it is you who needs the money the most and not me.
Well, yes, that does sound easier for me. And you're right that I need the money. I guess this means you're finally showing some remorse for what you did to my son. If that's the case, I won't press you too hard about everything, and I'll hold off on calling the police on you for now.
So, 9 a.m. on Saturday then?
Fine, I'll be there. But remember, I'm expecting you to make things right between all of us after what you did. And if you're truly reflecting on your actions, I won't push for a harsher penalty. Just don't forget that I'm not going to let this go easily.
Right. See you then. Candace, this is about Saturday. Are you going to be free around 10 a.m. to leave your house and come see me?
What do you want? Did you get that $50,000 I asked for ready?
I want you to come out to East Park in City B around that time, all right? Meet me in the parking lot there and we can talk some things over together.
What?
You'll be able to come, right?
And that's you saying you're going to be giving me that $50,000 I need?
Are you coming or are you not coming?
I'll be going. I will definitely be going to see you. I need that money badly, so I really have no other choice.
Then make sure to get there on time for me, please. I don't want to have to wait all day for you out there.
I'll finally be able to end all of this without having to get into loads of debt. Thank God.
Oak? What is this? What's with the blacked-out van that just pulled up here?
Ah, hello, Janice. You're right on time. How punctual and very impressive.
What do you mean impressive? What are you planning to do to me?
The people who've come to pick you up are not bad folks, so you really don't need to worry.
How on earth am I supposed to feel reassured by you saying that right now? I only came here because you said you'd give me the $50,000 that I'd been asking you for before.
But I never once said I was going to give you $50,000, right?
What? But I said that I needed all of that money from you.
Yes, and because of that, I've introduced you to a job opportunity.
A job opportunity?
The van that's here to pick you up belongs to Rogers Construction Company. It's one of their work vehicles that pulled up to meet with you, so no need to worry.
What? What exactly do you think you're trying to make me, your husband's mother of all people? I demanded $50,000 from you to avenge my son's suffering, and now you're telling me to work? How does any of that even make sense?
Isn't it because after your divorce you used up the alimony and your ex-husband's personal savings and now you owe him $50,000 and that's why you're asking me for it?
What?
Also, let's be clear about one thing here. Your son is very much alive and well, isn't he?
What does that have to do with this?
Ugh. Let me say this again. I am not your son's wife.
Oh, there you go with that nonsense again. How many times do we have to go back to square one? You were the one who was introduced to my son a while back in the arranged marriage meeting.
Yes, that part is true.
And I heard you got married to him in less than 6 months after that meeting.
Well, in those less than 6 months, his marriage partner changed and I was no longer with him anymore.
What?
Let me get straight to the point. Your son's wife, Mark's wife, is my older sister, Candace.
Your older sister?
Now, Janice, I have heard a bit about your situation. It seems that shortly after I started going out with your son, you got divorced from your husband. Because of that, you weren't informed about the results of what happened with him and I, were you?
Yes, that's probably true.
That's why you mistakenly assumed I was your son's wife. But after your divorce, I understand you met with Mark a few more times to have lunches and dinners together, right?
Yes, we did meet a couple times after that. Well, since Mark and I exchanged phone numbers during our short time with one another, I assume you must have secretly taken my contact details around that time? If I'd only known the name of the actual woman he'd be getting married to, none of this would have happened. Right, but I imagine Mark didn't exactly want to tell you the truth, did he? It must have been hard to explain that he ended up marrying the woman he had been dating for a little bit's sister. That's an awkward situation to explain, and I know I'd be afraid to talk about it as well. So, that's how all of this... Well, I think we're done here now, right? What? By now, you're probably already on your way to the van that Rogers Construction brought for you, right? They've instructed me not to stay in contact after we've finished our conversation, since they'll be taking you out into the middle of nowhere and there won't be any cell service for you there. Wait, hold on a minute! Look, I was dragged into this misunderstanding due to a lack of information, but this is where our connection ends. Best of luck to you, and I hope you can make all of that money back to pay your ex-husband with. Wait! Oh, don't leave me like this! Good luck with your new job at Rogers Construction. Take care. Wait!
Oak, I've been shoved into some blacked-out van and none of these guys are giving me any answers. What's going on?
Yeah, that would be Rogers Construction. You've heard of them, right?
Wait, what? No! You've got to be kidding me. Isn't that...
Yep. It's where Aunt May's been working for the past few decades now.
I know that, but that's not the point. That place is notorious for being what people call a rehabilitation facility for wayward people. It's a nightmare at these kinds of companies.
Well, sure, they're known for shaping up some rough types. But from my perspective, it's a good, reputable construction company with excellent employee training. A totally above and beyond style of operation.
Why do I have to go and work for Rogers Construction, though? This could have all been settled if you'd just given me the $50,000 I was asking you for earlier.
I never once said that I was giving you $50,000, though.
What? You knew I needed to come up with $50,000, so you're telling me this was your solution? Just throwing me into a job somewhere?
Pretty much. And that's why I had you come out to that parking lot today.
So that's what this is all about? I thought you were going to pay me.
Good luck with the job, and try your best not to piss off any of your bosses.
Oak! Give me that $50,000 right now!
At 9 a.m., Janice was picked up by the company van, and an hour later, my sister Candace was also collected by them. Although they're technically mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, they never once saw each other before heading off on separate journeys to their respective assignments, and will most likely never see one another ever again. Now, under the strict but caring guidance of their passionate senior colleagues, both Janice and Candace are reportedly spending their days utterly exhausted, battling muscle soreness and near tears as they work hard. It's tough, to say the least, but they're getting through it in order to change their ways and make that money they both need to pay other people off. As for Mark, who's still recovering in the hospital, it seems he's had time to reflect on a few things a bit when it comes to his mother and his wife. Word is, after his recovery, he plans to join Rogers Construction voluntarily as well, in order to humble himself and understand better the people like his mother and wife. So as you can see, although I was unexpectedly dragged into this situation, it's finally settled down and I didn't have to end up paying a single person the $50,000 they begged me for. Now, as for what's been going on with myself after all the drama concluded, I am taking a well-deserved break, enjoying a parfait with my real mother-in-law and relaxing after all the chaos.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.